This city says hello long before the buildings do. She hums, rattles, and flexes all before breakfast. Clips and choruses don't teach you the streets. But Atlanta, baby, she's a whole mood, right? It is hustle with a halo, brunch in Buckhead, trap beats shaking the walls by 2 a.m. Ambition here wears sneakers, smells like peach cobbler, and she refuses to slow down. What really makes the pulse are the people. Artists turning warehouses into dreams. Tech kids building empires in coffee shops. Grandmas running HOAs like Fortune 500 boards. Blink and that up-and-coming block just opened a brewery, a boutique gym, and there are new reasons to fall in love with it. Traffic's a beast. July will make you choose shade like it's a strategy. Right near the Beltline, that one builds character. But the chaos, that's Atlanta magic. Messy, magnetic, and impossible to fake. Think you've got the city figured out? The prices, the pace, the people who actually thrive here? Not even close. Stick close. The good stuff lives under the obvious. So clients ask me why these blocks feel familiar to me. And the truth is, Atlanta raised me twice. Once when I moved here, and again, every time she changed. I've sat in traffic long enough to finish an entire Outkast album, watched the murals rise in the Krog Street Tunnel, smelled barbecue rolling off Cascade on a Sunday, and heard Edgewood bass lines shake streetlights until they buzz. That's the heartbeat of this place. Art, grit, and soul fighting for space all in the same skyline. I speak from sidewalks and not slides. I've seen closing tables turn into friendships and quiet streets grow into full-blown destinations. Every corner has its own rhythm, right? And once you catch it, you start to feel what makes this place move. Elise here comes with the mood. And once you've felt it, it is hard to imagine calling anywhere else home. Energy here isn't borrowed, it is native. The city moves like a bass line that you can't predict, but you always want to chase. You hear it on Edgewood when the bass rattles the street signs, you see it in murals climbing up Krog Street Tunnel, and smell it in the barbecue smoke drifting across Cascade on a Sunday afternoon. Morning coffee in Midtown, midnight wings on Edgewood, Atlanta lives in every hour. Most visitors skim the headlines and miss the article. The rhythm goes deeper than nightlife. It runs the economy. Atlanta's creative scene isn't a side hustle, it is an engine. Nightlife alone pumps more than $5 billion with a B dollars a year into the city and supports over 41,000 jobs, around 4% of the total local economy. The people pouring drinks, spinning records, and setting lights are the same heartbeat that gives this city its after-dark identity. Film adds another layer to that pulse. Georgia now ranks #1 in production, and the studio lights in the Southwest near Tyler Perry Studios aren't just for the cameras. They spark housing demand, they fill local restaurants, and keep creative neighborhoods humming long after wrap time. Production crews grab tacos in Castleberry Hill, while designers and editors turn West End warehouses into studios. It's a feedback loop where culture becomes fuel. The Beltline pushes that rhythm into daylight. What started as a trail became a 22-mile loop of art, parks, and businesses. Research from Georgia State's Urban Studies Institute maps how it reshaped Old Fourth Ward and the West Side into identity corridors built through murals, music, and festivals. It pencils out in price per foot and who shows up on Fridays. A few months ago, I had a client from Brooklyn, my hometown, right? Sitting in my passenger seat, arms crossed, telling me, Kara, I'm only here because my job moved. I'm a New York girl. Atlanta is a weekend city at best. I just smiled and drove. We hit Pond City Market at Golden Hour, grabbed wings on Edgewood, and ended the night with live music in a courtyard she didn't even know existed. On the ride back, she got quiet and said, okay, now I see why y'all don't shut up about this place. She closed on a condo a few weeks later, and now she's the one sending friends my way. That's what I do. I take the version of Atlanta you think you know and introduce you to the one that you actually want to live in. Another one of my clients moved here from Chicago last year, tech job. Thought Atlanta would be a quick stop. 3 months later, she texted me a photo from Edgewood on a Friday night, wings in hand, right? Vinyl shopping bag in the other hand and writes, I finally get it. Atlanta's got its own frequency. That is the moment that you know the city's working its magic. If this is ringing true, lean in. Atlanta rewards people who show up ready to live, not just exist. We are your local Atlanta real estate team of choice, the ones who actually live in this city day to day. When you're ready to discover your own rhythm here, call, text, or email. Our info is in the description. Let us help you find your spot in the city that never stops moving. The forecast feels like it knows your calendar. It is not just hot or humid, it is alive. You wake up to that golden glow that hits rooftops like honey. And by the afternoon, the heat hums through the sidewalks like it is testing your commitment to be outside. This city doesn't do gentle seasons, okay? Atlanta does personality. What most people do not realize is how much the weather shapes how Atlanta lives. Those oak-lined streets and wide front porches are not just pretty. They are strategy. Georgia Tech's climate studies found that tree-shaded blocks can feel a couple degrees cooler than the bare ones. And that's exactly how neighborhoods like Inman Park and Grant Park feel. Like an exhale when the summer decides to turn up the volume. You know, the kind of afternoon that I'm talking about. You step out of your car in Grant Park, it hits you like a hug that you did not ask for. Then you turn the corner and you're gonna see kids running through sprinklers, someone grilling ribs, some of my favorites, and a neighbor waving from a porch with a fan that is older than you. And it's not a scene from a movie, it is just another Tuesday. That's the beauty of it. Atlanta doesn't perform, it just exists. I will be honest, when I first moved here, I grossly underestimated that heat. One summer, my AC went out in the middle of a closing week. I had contracts to negotiate, inspections to schedule, and it felt like my house was auditioning to be a sauna. Instead of panicking, I grabbed my laptop, walked to a shaded porch a few doors down where my neighbor had an extra fan, and I finished 3 deals from that rocking chair. By the end of the week, my AC was fixed, my clients were under contract, and that neighbor, he still texts me whenever their cousin is ready to buy. Atlanta weather will test you, but it's also going to introduce you to the community if you let it. And that's the same grace that I extend to my clients when we're designing the lifestyle around their home and not just picking a pretty house. Even the microclimates have opinions. Homes near creek corridors catch a cool drift, while the ones closer to downtown soak up the city heat, but trade it for walkability and nightlife. Dial in your microclimate with smart choices. Plant shade trees, go for a reflective roof, add a solid air filter for allergy season, and your home starts working with the city's rhythm instead of fighting against it. The routine runs a loop you look forward to. Early mornings in the Beltline, iced coffee before noon, and late dinners and patios that hum with conversation. Summer storms roll in fast. Rinse everything clean and leave the air smelling like rain and fried food. The same heat that tests your patience is what powers the energy, the gardens, the community cookouts, and that slow, easy joy Atlanta never apologizes for. So I'm curious, what's your Atlanta comfort ritual? Are you the type to beat the heat with a porch fan and sweet tea? Or the one chasing rooftop sunsets even when it's 98 and sticky? Here's the thing, Atlanta's weather doesn't hand you comfort, you earn it. One porch fan and one sunset at a time. And once you do, you start to see the elements themselves that shape the lifestyle and the neighborhoods that are built around it. Which is exactly where the story gets interesting next. Atlanta isn't one city. It is a constellation of little worlds stitched together by rhythm, legacy, and reinvention. Every neighborhood beats its own frequency. Your address speaks fluent lifestyle. If your heart leans creative, let's say all art, coffee, and skyline views, Fourth Ward is your pulse point. The Beltline cuts through like a living artery, feeding murals, markets, and Sunday runners. The air smells like espresso and spray paint. The corner buzzes with startup ambition, but the backdrop matters. Georgia State's research on the Beltline shows what happens when beauty meets demand, right? Prices climb, cultures shift, and the question becomes how to grow without losing its roots. That is Atlanta in real time. Progress that forces hard conversations. If you travel a few miles southwest and the tone changes from high gloss to heritage, Weston and Cascade hold stories that built this city long before the skyline did. Tyler Perry Studios hums nearby, not as a landmark, but as a living ecosystem with jobs and creative pride. On those streets, history and innovation aren't opposites. They share a porch. One block hums with old school gospel, another with construction drills. Both are part of the same Atlanta landscape. If you head downtown, you hit the glow of Castleberry, where the city's artists, film crews, and designers blur the lines between work and nightlife. This is a neighborhood where a studio becomes a gallery and a rooftop turns into a set. It's the definition of creative capital. Dreams get zoning and opening night. What you need is breathing room without leaving the buzz. Grant Park and Inman Park have it down to a science. Deep shade, front porches, magnolia air, joggers, painters, architects, and families all sharing the same quiet streets that somehow feel cinematic. Those are the neighborhoods that have mastered calm without losing access. The pause between beats that keeps the rhythm sustainable. And if you're chasing energy that doesn't fade with daylight, Edgewood does not sleep. The music spills from windows, street art, and changes weekly, and every weekend feels like a festival. City data put Atlanta's nightlife at more than $8 billion in annual impact. And you can hear it, the collective sound of creatives paying rent, chasing dreams, and remixing culture one track at a time. That's the thing about Atlanta. Every zip has a purpose, a tempo, and a community rewriting what modern Southern living looks like. Your best fit is the one that nods back, right? Because here, your neighborhood isn't just where you live, it is how you show up in the world. Access is an advantage that Atlanta runs on hustle. Not the kind that burns you out, but the kind that builds legacies. The pace here is relentless, and it's in the best way. 1 minute, you're grabbing cold brew at Chrome Yellow. The next, you're locking in a deal at Pont City Market or wrapping a shoot near Tyler Perry Studios. This city moves. And if you match its rhythm, it moves with you. The job scene does not fit in a box. Film, tech, finance, startups, small business, you'll find all of it colliding in the same city block. Georgia's film industry still holds that #1 spot in the country. And that momentum, it touches everything. When productions land, neighborhoods light up. Crews, stylists, caterers, drivers, everyone eats. It's not the hype, it's an ecosystem that spills into the dining, housing, and retail industries. If you're wired for creativity, Atlanta rewards it. Tech Square hums with late-night founders chasing their next round. Pop-ups along the Beltline turn into permanent shops. Even gig workers stack income streams like mixtapes. Around here, multiple hustles isn't a side thing. It's just how people move. Traffic can test your patience, but the city's flipping that script. The new MARTA Rapid A line through Summerhill is showing what real bus rapid transit feels like, with signal priority, dedicated lanes, and smoother rides. The 5 Points overhaul downtown is turning the commuter chaos into a clean, connected hub. Adding Beltline trail access, expanding bike lanes, and microtransit pilots that actually close first-mile gaps, and you can feel the shift. Atlanta isn't patching problems. It's building a future grid that actually works. You see it in most of the places like East Point and College Park. They used to be airport-adjacent secrets. Now, they're magnets for professionals who value time over traffic. Kirkwood, West Midtown, and Adair Park are the same story. People choosing connectivity over commute misery. This city gives you permission to design your lifestyle around what matters: access, flexibility, and flow. You can work in Midtown, live in the South Side, and still make it to dinner on the Beltline without losing your mind. It's not perfect, but it's progress that you can feel in real time. Atlanta is proving that access is the new amenity. And if you know how to move through the city, you're already one step ahead. Atlanta isn't the cheap secret it used to be, but it's still one of the smartest cities in the country when it comes to real value, because here, what you pay in dollars only tells half of the story. The rest is about access, lifestyle, and the energy that you live in every single day. You can still find homes that would cost double in Austin or Charlotte, but Atlanta gives you more than just square footage. You're buying momentum, right? This is a place that is still evolving, still building, still finding ways to blend history and growth. Whether it's a Craftsman in East Lake, a loft in Castleberry Hill, or a shaded corner of Decatur, this city stretches your dollar through culture and connection. I'm never going to forget a couple that I worked with from Los Angeles. They flew in convinced that Atlanta would just be a cheaper version of what they already had. We ran their numbers two ways. One scenario, we had a shiny new townhome that looked good on Instagram, and another in a slightly older bungalow in Westview that had trees, a yard, and a 5-minute drive to the Beltline. I watched their faces when we pulled up to the bungalow, and the neighbors waved at us. They waved us over to try ribs off the smoker. Y'all know I love food. On paper, both homes worked, but standing there, smelling barbecue, and hearing kids ride their bikes down the block, the wife whispered, "This feels like a life, not just a mortgage." They chose that house, and a year later, they sent me a video from their first block party. But does this actually feel like your life? One of my favorite moments recently was walking a couple through a quiet block in East Point. A freight train rumbled past mid-conversation, and the wife grinned and said, "It feels alive here." That's the Atlanta difference. You cannot measure that with spreadsheets. It's texture, it's rhythm, it's the feeling that something's always happening close by. Now, yes, prices have climbed. The Beltline effect is real, and so are the property taxes that come with it. But those costs come with payoff, more parks, more nightlife, more access. Even in the higher price zones, the overall cost of living still undercuts cities with half the culture. Food, entertainment, and utilities help balance the math. The real win comes from understanding trade-offs. Living just 10 minutes off the Beltline can save you 20% on housing while still keeping you connected. Southside neighborhoods like Sylvan Hills and East Point are picking up serious investment without losing their authenticity. You can still have a local coffee shop and a MARTA stop within minutes without paying downtown premiums. Renters here are finding similar values too. New adaptive reuse projects are popping up across the city, blending charm with function. The key is to lead with lifestyle and not hype. Find the rhythm that fits your routine, then match it with the neighborhood that fits your budget. That's how Atlanta locals live smart. People just love to compare Atlanta to other metros, but it's not trying to be them. This city builds on its own terms. Culture, community, and cost of living still exist in the same sentence here, and that's rare. The headline truth is simple. Value beats sticker price when you understand where the opportunity hides. Atlanta's real estate scene moves like jazz. It's layered, it's unpredictable, and full of rhythm if you know how to listen. Expect improv with structure. Every neighborhood hits a different note. Some rise with new transit routes, others with creative energy, and still a few hum quietly, waiting for the spotlight to swing their way. The real opportunity isn't just about snagging something affordable. It is about strategy and reading where the city's pulse is shifting. The places gaining traction aren't always the ones splashed across billboards. Momentum follows motion. And in Atlanta, motion looks like new Beltline trailheads, MARTA projects, and growing nightlife corridors. Where the bulldozers and the bike lane goes, value tags along. You can feel it on the ground. West End and East Point are pulling in creatives and entrepreneurs who want character and community over cookie-cutter convenience. Adair Park and Sylvan Hills are attracting energy, investment, and vision while still keeping their edge. Castleberry Hill keeps proving that art, music, and real estate can share the same heartbeat. It's the city's best example of cultural gravity turning into local equity. The people winning in this market are the ones thinking like strategists, not spectators. They're looking past trends and reading the patterns, transit expansions, creative clusters, lifestyle pockets that balance culture with comfort. Trees, steps, and minutes beat marble. Atlanta rewards awareness. It rewards the ones paying attention and connecting the dots and moving before the crowd catches on. Readers of the room close earlier. That is the heartbeat of this market. Fast, soulful, and wide open for those tuned in. What neighborhood feels like it's on the edge of something big? Drop your pick in the comments. I want to see who's got the best local radar. And trust me, I do read all of these comments. Moving to Atlanta without understanding its rhythm is like jumping into a song mid-beat and wondering why it feels off. The biggest mistake that I see relocation people make isn't about budgets or square footage. It is about ignoring the city's texture. Atlanta rewards curiosity because it's a patchwork of creative corridors, right? We've got historic streets and brand new skylines that each move to their own tempo. A lot of people relocate here, but they can figure it out later. They tour online and they lock something in fast. Only after the boxes are unpacked do they realize that their neighborhood's nightlife shuts down early or that MARTA access could have saved them 40 minutes every single day. The city is built on layers of identity, from the Beltline's artsy loops to the cultural heartbeat of West End and Castleberry Hill. Those small details, like the murals, the trail cafes, and the street sounds, they tell you more about what your life will feel like here than any spreadsheet ever could. Atlanta is a city where just 2 miles can mean a totally different story. Midtown buzzes with creative professionals, while a few minutes south, you've got an entire pocket shaped by film crews, production studios, and family-owned restaurants that double as community landmarks. The neighborhoods shifting fastest are the ones that are built on culture, not concrete. Places where art, design, and food create their own ecosystem of opportunity. The truth is, you can't relocate here from a distance. You have to see how the people use the city, where they walk their dogs, how they move after dark, where the traffic pauses, not just where the map says that it should. That's how you know if your place fits your energy. Atlanta is a living, breathing thing, a mix of rhythm, resilience, and reinvention. You learn how to listen to it. The city will show you where you belong. Atlanta rewards people who move with purpose, right? The city's pulse is different once you learn to read it. The ones who thrive here, they're not guessing. They're observing, they're testing, they're feeling their way through the noise before they drop roots. Ditch the listicles and follow the permits. What matters is understanding where the city's energy is shifting. MARTA's newest lines, Beltline extensions, the creative corridors that light up on Friday nights, those are the early signals of growth. That is how you see value and lifestyle forming in real time. Do a 48-hour dress rehearsal in each corner. One where the skyline fills your window, right? Another where trees and porches take over the view. Do you notice how the morning traffic sounds change? Feel how neighborhoods breathe after dark? Midtown hums with movement while East Point feels like community in motion. The difference is the lesson. Atlanta doesn't sell you one lifestyle. It invites you to find your own rhythm. Build your shortlist like a local who knows what matters. Commute, culture, convenience, right? Budget your time the same way you budget your move. The opportunities go to the ones paying attention and not rushing. Whether it's being near film studios, close to a trailhead, right? Or tucked inside a creative pocket that's just starting to glow, map it intentionally. One of my most favorite clients almost got this wrong. She called me from out of state and said, I found a place online. I just need you to unlock the door. I told her, that's not how we're doing this. Instead, we built a 2-day preview tour, South Side, West Side, and one, just for comparison, stop in Midtown. By the end of the day, she looked at me and said, if I'd signed that online lease, I'd be miserable. We found her a home near the Beltline with the exact mix of quiet mornings and creative nightlife that she wanted, but didn't know how to ask for. That's what working with me looks like, right? I am not a door opener. I'm the one who protects you from the version of Atlanta that looks good on screen, but does not fit your actual life. That's what Move Smart really means. It's more than boxes and contracts. It is alignment. You align first, then accelerate. That's how you turn relocation into reinvention. Atlanta is not a city that you move to. It is a city that you learn. Every block, every late night coffee shop, every skyline view teaches you something new about who you are and how you live. You're gonna hit your groove and the city's gonna start saying yes. We've seen it happen. The couple who traded a long commute for a cozy craftsman in Westgate and said that it finally felt like their story. The designer who thought she wanted Midtown but fell in love with Castleberry Hill's creative heartbeat. Alignment is gonna beat lottery every day. And if you're ready to write your own version of that story, our local Atlanta real estate team of choice, we're here to help guide you. You can call, text, or email us. You will find all the details in the description. We are here to help make your move smart, confident, and completely your own. Before you go, check out the playlist Living in Atlanta Like a Local. That is where we dive into Atlanta's creative neighborhoods, hidden gems, and market insights that help you live the city, not just move to it. Appreciate you rolling with me today, guys, and see you next time.